Shirley! Shirley! Zeke! Shirley! Shirley, what's wrong? You don't look so good. Did you have a nightmare?
That was a dream, I guess. I don't know.
Do you want to talk about it? It might feel better to get it off your chest.
It's just some old memories. About Asperia and Zeke. But the people who should have been there, the people I knew, they were all gone. I also saw some horrifying things. I don't know what it could possibly mean.
Perhaps you're just too tired recently? Why don't we go out and take our minds off things? Maybe that'll help.
It's okay. I'm feeling much better now. Thank you for helping me deal with this. And sorry for making you worry.
Shirley.
I'm fine now. It's not like me to be bothered by a nightmare, is it? So, what's up?
There's been some field energy updates. Master Yu is inviting us to discuss this together at the Tien Pavilion in Joltville. Conroe will take us there. He's waiting for us at the Ignisville mansion.
Let's head out then. We don't want to keep him waiting.
It's a pleasure to see both of you again.
Sorry for the wait, Conroe. Thank you for showing us the way.
You're too kind, Executor. I'm just following Master Yu's request. Joining you two for the meeting at Tien Pavilion.
Tien Pavilion? Does this place have something to do with timestamps?
Yes. The Tien Pavilion is where timestamps and similar technological products are made. Timestamps, sundial squares, these are all works of the Tien Pavilion, which is governed by Madame Huang. Thanks to Tien Pavilion, the timestamp system is able to operate smoothly, allowing us to use the power of timestamps to fight back the darkness. However, to activate the timestamps, the infinite sundial must harness field energy from lifeblood and project that energy throughout Domain 9. If the lifeblood were to be exhausted, the consequences would be catastrophic. Feng Shui Tower was established to handle the power crisis of the infinite sundial, and I'm in charge of overseeing it. Our mission is to address the lifeblood depletion and to find potential alternative energy sources. The reason I made the trip to Vera through the Celestial Gate was to seek out a way to keep the infinite sundial up and running. Luckily, the trip was quite fruitful.
Fruitful?
Marsoid ore, the main energy source in Inners, could possibly serve as an alternative for lifeblood. Upon receiving permission from the authorities in Vera, I gathered some Marsoid ore samples and brought them back to Domain 9 for further study. Now that Master Yu is assembling us and Madame Huang to meet at Tianzhong Pavilion, our research must have yielded some promising results.
It must be good news, right?
I certainly hope so. Let's get going. We're now approaching Joltville. It's home to the largest lifeblood in Domain 9, and also the junction for all lifeblood across the domain. Serving as Domain 9's administrative center and the research and production hub for timestamp technology. It is essentially the heart of Domain 9. Zheng Gong focuses on exploring and assimilating information from the Black Jade ruins, laying the groundwork for the timestamp technology in Domain 9. These technologies are passed on to Tianzhong Pavilion to be materialized. This, essentially, is how our timestamps came to be.
Oh, I understand now.
Lord Conroe, and our honored guests from the outside world, welcome. I am Fu Li, Madame Huang's steward. Madame Huang has sent me here to handle the darkness, while she deals with the Abyss Current herself.
So we'll wait for her to finish?
It's been a while now. I wonder if she's had enough of combat. Please, follow me.
Long, head of Tianjung Pavilion. Come with me.
Madam Qinglong.
Keep up! I don't have time to stand around waiting for you.
Let's go then.
Oh, Fuli, make sure you keep a close eye on Dragonpool. The darkness might be up to something there again.
Understood. I'll make arrangements immediately.
And we're here.
Now that we've arrived at Tien Zhang's pavilion, we'll be on our way. Madam Huang still has a lot of official business to attend to. Thank you for your understanding.
Okay, thanks for all your help.
Hey there, you two. How have you been?
Did the doctor not come with you? I hope there's no trouble, is there?
The doctor has uncovered something new at the Black Jade Ruins in Marshville, and is tied up there at the moment, so she's unable to attend the meeting. Don't worry, I'll relay everything to her. For instance, the first topic. The Executor expressed concern about the doctor's absence, and promptly offered to assist her.
That will not be necessary.
We're all here, Master Yu.
Well, let's get straight to the point then. I believe you're already aware of the topic of this meeting. It appears that we may have discovered a potential solution to the increasingly dire energy shortage.
I'm Neo, a researcher at Tianjung Pavilion. Allow me to present to you our latest discoveries. The timestamp system relies on the power generated from the infinite sundial. But with the lifeblood nearly depleted, we're looking at the infinite sundial potentially losing its functionality. The loss of the functionality of the infinite sundial equates to a decline in timestamp efficiency. The consequences of this would be severe. Our battle against the darkness would become increasingly difficult. We've been continuously researching for ways to replenish Domain 9's field energy. Recently, Lord Conroe ventured beyond our domain and returned with an energy mineral from Vera. Please look. We have conducted a detailed analysis and comparison between our lifeblood and the Marzoid ore originating from Vera. We finally discovered that the energy extracted from Marzoid ore aligns closely with the energy waveforms of lifeblood. Using this type of energy, the timestamp is fully capable of functioning.
Could it be that Marzoid ore and lifeblood are the same kind of material?
It's too early to say for certain, but one thing we do know is that Marzoid ore can provide energy in a manner similar to lifeblood. In conclusion, Vera's Marzoid ore might serve as a viable substitute for lifeblood.
We have already shared these findings with the authorities in Vera. We believe that Archon Larson has already been making progress in his research on lifeblood. We've also submitted a request to Archon Larson, hoping that Vera can provide us with an adequate supply of Marzoid ore to maintain the operation of the timestamp system.
Assuming Vera can provide a sufficient amount of Marzoid ore, could we avert the crisis of the Infinite Sundial's impending failure?
This is very important. We need to return to Vera and explain the situation to Archon Larson in person.
I trust that your insights and first-hand experiences could be of great assistance to Archon Larson in making an informed decision.
Shelley? Oh, wow, you really startled me.
So, you finally thought of me? I haven't seen you back in Meroria in a while. Were you having a bit too much fun in Domain 9?
No, I'm not like you.
Huh? What was that? You learned a lot about the life and land in Domain 9? Well then, make sure to show me around next time I go to Domain 9 for work. Since I'm the top Hycros mechanic, I was even invited to the Jade Pavilion Fair in Domain 9.
Wow, and then you ate so much that you could barely move?
That was because of the travel. The abyss current on the way to Domain 9 made me dizzy. I wasn't feeling well before I got there. But despite the discomfort, I completed my mission just fine. I'm amazing.
So you're saying you have a weak constitution?
Well, I am more brains than brawn after all. Well then, make sure to show me around next time I go to Domain 9 for work. You're talking to the head of the Hycros Domain 9 Smart Servant Committee. I'm personally responsible for the technological collaboration between the two places.
The Hycros Smart Servant what now? How come I've never heard of it?
Well, we are still getting more members. Do you want to join? After my committee gets bigger and won't be so easy to get in.
What kind of responsibilities does a member have?
Stuff like delivering the latest smart servant research data between the two areas, bringing back Ling Chao's refined equipment parts, and special local snacks from Domain 9.
Special local snacks?
I misspoke. What I meant to say was special local materials for research. Of course, if you have time, you can pick up a couple snacks too.
Uh...
Come on! I'm so busy with work. When do I ever have time to travel there? It's not like it's out of your way.
I'll think about it.
Well then, make sure to show me around next time I go to Domain 9 for work. I'm telling you, I think we're like two peas in a pod. We get along great. I never thought anyone in this world would understand me as well as you do.
By the way, are those things in Ling Xiao's lab your handiwork?
Yep, my great invention will be carried forward in Domain 9. It's all a bit overwhelming. Honestly, I really miss that place. The food is so good, and Ling Chao even calls me teacher. But the work hours are just too long. Doesn't she know people want to leave work on time? If you call me your teacher, you should learn how to work reasonable hours like me, right? Oh, I almost forgot. Here, have a taste.
What's this?
It's cake I made, the only one. Enjoy! Oh, but don't forget to write me a 5,000-word review after you eat it and post it online with some nice photos. That way, all of your Domain 9 friends can see it.
Huh?
I realized that not many people sell cakes in Domain 9. My sharp business sense saw an opportunity. If the people in Domain 9 like it... Oh, but Ling Chao doesn't like snacks or desserts like this. What do you think I should give her as a gift instead?
A solid smart servant upgrade plan.
Say what?
I can ask her for you.
Well then, make sure to show me around next time I go to Domain 9 for work. I don't know when I'll get the chance to go to Domain 9 again, but I can't wait to have fun. To do work! What did you think I said?
Archon Larson, Ms. Lyra, we have the latest updates on Domain 9 and the Gray Space entities.
Thank you for your hard work. Master Yu has already briefed me about the situation in Domain 9, but I'd like to hear your thoughts.
Based on our recent observations, We've noticed that abyss currents occur quite often in Domain 9, and the disasters caused by gray space entities are extremely severe. We've also seen quite a few gray space entities similar to the ones here in Vera.
Could those be the ones that have migrated from Vera to Domain 9?
They likely responded to the Hive Mother's call and traveled to Domain 9 via the abyss currents. Personally, I think there's a strong possibility that the Hive Mother is in Domain 9, but we don't have the ability to pinpoint her exact location right now.
How's the doctor doing?
Dr. Rubilia noticed a peculiar blackstone ruin and initiated research into it, along with Lord Linghan, who is in charge of Marshville. I believe she will bring us more insights on the gray space entities soon.
Shirley and I also made some discoveries regarding the Blackstone ruins. There is a powerful gray space entity being held captive within Ignisville's Blackstone ruin. With the seal on the ruin gradually weakening, the gray space entity tried to escape its confinement. The situation has been resolved, but at a cost. There's barely any lifeblood left to sustain the operation of the timestamp system in Domain 9. If the lifeblood is depleted, the gray space entities imprisoned within will immediately break free and wreak havoc. And without the support of timestamps, battling these gray space entities would become even more challenging.
Indeed. We've heard about this from Master Yu. Inspired by Domain 9, Lyra has conducted in-depth research on Marzoid ore.
That is right, Archon Larson. After restarting the investigation of the confounding abyss and combining it with the findings from Domain 9, we've made significant breakthroughs in our research on Marzoid ore. We have narrowed down why Marzoid ore can serve as a substitute for lifeblood. The energy contained within Marzoid ore is essentially omnium. Just as the Executor said, there are Blackstone ruins that exist in Domain 9, which bear a striking resemblance to the ones in the confounding abyss. It's not surprising that Domain 9 also has minerals similar in nature to Marzoid ore. Unfortunately, after thoroughly analyzing the data provided by Master Yu, we found that the known reserves of Marzoid ore in Vera are far from sufficient to fill the gap.
So what do we do? There must be other solutions, right?
We are not completely out of options. Marzoid ore and lifeblood are merely different forms of energy. The energy that provides the timestamps is omnium. In other words, all we need to do is to provide enough omnium. Should Domain 9 be able to construct its own towers of fantasy and start extracting omnium from Mara, energy depletion wouldn't be a problem anymore.
Tower of Fantasy.
Of course, this also comes with risks. Master Yu is already aware of the harms and impacts caused by the Cataclysm, the Omnium Plague, and the out-of-control Omnium Reactor within the Tower of Fantasy. Anyway, Domain 9 is considering the solution. If the conditions are met, it would undoubtedly be the best choice. However, this is based on the assumption that Domain 9 falls within Mara's energy radiation range. If not, it's all just talk.
How can we know for sure?
District 7's application of Omnium technology isn't that advanced. We'll need the assistance of District 9.
I'll get in touch with Archon Elric and Master Yu later to discuss the matter and finalize a solution. You've done a great job exploring Domain 9. We'll be counting on your continued support for our future collaboration with them.
We're glad to be of help.
Now then, Miss Shirley and the Executor should return to Asperia to wait for Archon Elric's instructions. In terms of other partnerships with Domain 9, there are some details I need to confirm. Tianlong, come with me.
Business trip? It's finally my turn to go to Meroria? Ah, the popular magic-themed masterpieces and the hyper-realistic merchandise from that city I've been thinking about for so long.
You'll need to touch bases with Miss Lyra in Meroria, then make your way to Domain 9 through the Celestial Gate.
Oh, I suppose that could work. Even if I can only stay for a little bit, I'm sure I'll get a chance to snag some goods.
Executor Miss Shirley, allow me to introduce you. This is Brevy, a Tower of Fantasy engineer.
Hello there. I'm usually cooped up at home, but even I have heard about you two. At least, I think I have.
We have already reached an agreement with Domain 9. Once we confirm that Domain 9 can harness omnium radiation from Mara, we'll commence the construction of a Tower of Fantasy. Brevy is set to accompany you to Domain 9 for the initial inspection. If the optimal solution for Domain 9 to obtain omnium is indeed the construction of a Tower of Fantasy, Hykros will spare no effort in providing assistance and support. Even though the construction of the Tower of Fantasy has been essentially stalled since the Cataclysm, our research on omnium has never ceased.
But at this point, we've run into a roadblock that we can't seem to overcome. It is what it is.
Hopefully, our understanding of omnium can assist Domain 9 and the entire human civilization to safely navigate through the gray space entity crisis. Venturing to Domain 9 to investigate the possibility of constructing the Tower of Fantasy is our first step.
Bleep bleep. Hykros' current technology is more than capable of conducting the investigation, but understanding the local conditions, well, that's another story.
Bleep bleep? Is that the name of some new technology?
She says it's her special notification sound.
Huh?
Don't worry, Teach. I'll be careful with these, uncommon phrases to avoid any possible misunderstandings. Rest assured, I'll uphold the image of a serious and reliable Hykros researcher.
I'm sure you'll handle it appropriately. Don't worry about your projects here. I'll have someone take over. If there's anything else you need, just let me know. In addition, an executor will be appointed to go with you for your safety.
Anything? Well, I would like a large amount of extra funding. Also, can I choose my own bodyguard? I want Yanunu to come too.
Considering she might still be on a mission, it might be best to choose from the others first. I'll check on Yanuo's schedule later.
And no matter who I pick, there'll be a stranger. Never mind. I believe I can get along well with the Executor and Miss Shirley. I'll be fine without a bodyguard.
Wouldn't that just burden them with additional work?
What do you guys think? This is actually my first time leaving Hykros. I'm not really sure what kind of problems I might encounter.
Don't worry about it. Just leave it to us.
Keeping the team lean. That's not a bad idea. While you're on your mission, could you also keep an eye out for this inexperienced student of mine? I'd really appreciate it.
I can take care of myself even if Yanunu is not around. Yes, this is also a necessary challenge on the path to making miracles.
Oh, well then. I'm looking forward to working with you, Miss Brevy.
Is it just me, or does the air even smell different here?
How do you feel? Are you uncomfortable at all?
Perhaps traversing through space-time barriers all in one go is a bit too much for a first-timer like me. My sight is growing ever dimmer in the encroaching darkness. If I were to fall here...
We'll get you to a place to rest. Come on.
That's the scene I had imagined, but it turned out to be easier than I thought.
Huh?
Bleep bleep. Thank you all for your concern. I've done some last-minute cramming. I think I'm as ready as I can possibly be. This trip has been surprisingly uneventful. There's no opportunity to put those survival skills Yanunu mentioned to use, it seems. Like, how to survive in the wilderness with no signs of civilization, and how to survive by foraging for edible plants. I thought there might be a chance to put all this knowledge to use.
It's not that extreme.
I seem to be doing fine adapting to the new environment, but the accommodations have me a bit worried. Making the bed and doing laundry isn't my strong suit. I predict that within a day, I'll have the guest room in a total mess. I wonder if there'll be any staff to help.
I think that shouldn't be an issue.
Okay, that's good to hear. Now that we're here, let's get straight to work. This is a rare hands-on exam. If my teacher thinks that I'm the type to drop the ball at crucial moments, it'll make future funding applications even harder.
Welcome back, Executor, Miss Shirley, and Miss Brevy from Hykros. We've made ample preparations for our in-depth partnership. Please follow me to the Infinite Sundial first.
The Infinite Sundial? That's the most important facility in Domain 9 for energy reaction and conversion, right? I remember reading about it in the prep materials.
That's right. The Infinite Sundial transfers the field energy originating from lifeblood to various timestamp facilities. It's the most critical hub in the entire timestamp system.
Very fascinating. I'd love to see it. Could you walk me through how it works and the logic behind it? Is it just the novelty, or does this place not seem as dull as Asperia?
Of course. I'll get the tour set up immediately.
Welcome, Miss Brevy. Let me introduce Miss Brevy, the architect of the Tower of Fantasy from Hykros. She'll be conducting an inspection regarding the construction of a Tower of Fantasy in Domain 9.
First things first. We have to ensure that Domain 9 is within Mara's energy radiation range before we can move forward with the next steps. If we can confirm this, maybe we could prove that Domain 9 is a part of Ida. Just maybe. For some reason, Domain 9 and the other regions have become isolated from each other. What's the principle behind the deployment of this barrier? In any case, if this is true, it falls in line with Hykros' prior hypothesis. Domain 9, just like Vera and Asperia, is another missing part of Ida.
Miss Brevy's ideas are quite promising for further study. It seems that this verification process might unearth key information we have not yet realized. I'll leave it up to Miss Brevy to take the lead and decide how to proceed.
Before we move forward, I have a question. How exactly did Domain 9 pinpoint Vera's coordinates and open the Celestial Gate?
Domain 9 experienced a very unusual space-time fluctuation some time ago. Due to the impact of the fluctuation, we managed to track down more parameters of the outside world. The data was harvested and processed by 3 space-time anchor stations in Joltville. It was then sent to the Infinite Sundial and calculated by our supercomputer, Tempos. Therefore, we precisely identified the location of the outside world Celestial Gate in Ignisville, making our trip to Vera possible.
I see. Just as I had imagined. Then, we can replicate the same procedure this time, surveying the space-time anchor points of Mara through these 3 facilities. But given that Mara exists in higher dimensional space-time, we need to adjust the survey parameters to sense its presence. It might even require modifications to the anchoring device.
Of course, that's not a problem. Neo, I'd like you and Yoon to assist Miss Brevy with the modifications.
Understood.
Moreover, taking into account the time required for the project and the budget for the equipment, I don't see the need for a new Tower of Fantasy in Domain 9. We can accomplish the same goal by modifying the Infinite Sundial, the hub of the timestamp system.
Modifying the Infinite Sundial? Wouldn't that interfere with the functioning of the whole timestamp system?
We'll have to determine that based on the actual circumstances when the time comes. However, if the 2 facilities operate independently, it could potentially lead to a large-scale energy loss during transmission. In that situation, Tower of Fantasy's energy efficiency would significantly decrease, possibly not meeting the Infinite Sundial's needs. All things considered, remodeling the Infinite Sundial is the best solution.
Tianjung Pavilion will carefully evaluate the proposal. It's absolutely critical that we ensure the Infinite Sundial continues to function perfectly. There's no room for error.
I'll leave the proposal evaluation to Mimi. In the meantime, our priority is to survey the existence of Mara.
Please follow me to Tianjung Pavilion, and we can discuss the plans for the anchoring device modification.
My name is Yoon, and I oversee the Infinite Sundial. I'd be delighted to assist in any way I can.
A new member just joined our party? Our group's friendship EXP just got a major boost!
I just did a quick calculation of the transmission power needed for the survey, and the space-time anchor stations can meet this requirement. As for how to equip the space-time anchor stations with the ability to survey Mara, that's down to Miss Brevy's plan.
Right. For that, we just need to request Hycros to transport the space-time monitoring modules to Domain 9.
I see. Miss Brevy must be planning to replace the existing modules of the space-time anchor stations with the ones from Hycros, right?
That's right! Our collective brain power is leveling up!
But it seems like it won't be as simple as that. The device doesn't fit the space-time anchor stations, so we'll have to build corresponding connectors.
This could be troublesome. The space-time anchor stations are rarely used, and we don't have spare parts in Tianjung Pavilion's inventory.
We'll help too. What resources do you need?
Thank you, Executor. Allow me a moment to prepare a list. Roughstone and Jadestone should be relatively easy to collect. The Dark Gold Fixator can be purchased directly from Sky Workshop at Tianhua Bazaar.
Sounds straightforward enough. I'll head out now. Excuse me, could I get a Dark Gold Fixator, please?
My apologies, we just ran out of stock. You might want to try other stores. Or would you like me to notify you once we have more in stock?
Are there any other places nearby that might sell it? I'm in a bit of a rush. I'm afraid I can't wait.
You're welcome to have mine if you need it urgently.
But what about you?
What you're dealing with is more pressing, isn't it? As for me, waiting a bit longer won't hurt.
Don't worry, when we restock tomorrow, I'll reserve a dark gold fixator for you, Miss Fesa.
In that case, I'll gratefully accept the offer then. Thank you for your generosity, Miss Fesa.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Executor. Please wait a moment. The modifications will be completed shortly. Next, we need to install these connectors at the 3 space-time anchor stations. Let me just double-check. Okay, everything looks good. I'll be on my way.
Mr. Neo, could you hold on for a second? It seems there might still be some unresolved issues in the debugging program.
Did I miss something? Let me have a look.
Should I take care of the device installation then? It would save you some time.
That would be a huge help. Thank you for doing this, Executor.
It's like we're about to activate a magic eye that deconstructs reality. Let's make sure we get a good look.
Initiating data scan. Amplifying the Class A signal.
Search in progress.
Hold on. Can we get a more detailed comparison at this anchor point?
Right away.
Quick, we need a detailed spectral analysis. Ace!
Let's speed it up.
Omnium reaction detected.
Space-time anchor point confirmed. The features are a perfect match.
Oh, it's Mara. Looks like Domain 9 can indeed receive Omnium from Mara. Now, it's time for us to present our findings. Based on the calculations we've just carried out, we can confidently say that it is possible to build a Tower of Fantasy right here in Domain 9. But that's just the feasibility from an objective point of view. So, people of Domain 9, have you also made your decision on whether to move forward with this plan? Let's see where your resolve stands.
Building a Tower of Fantasy. Drawing Omnium energy from Mara. This means we're attempting to harness a power that doesn't inherently belong to us. But the darkness has placed Domain 9's existence at significant risk. We must use every possible method or resource we have at our disposal right now. We have to face the risks associated with the Tower of Fantasy, no matter what they are.
Back then, Hykros was like an amateur sorcerer who had only picked up a few basic spells, yet forced themselves to wield grand magic. The consequence was... boom! Very dangerous. Anyway, that was just a limitation of our scientific understanding back then. Learning from Asperia's mistakes, I believe we'll be more careful with the Tower of Fantasy's operation in Domain 9.
Jun Gong will spare no effort to ensure the smooth operation of the Tower of Fantasy in Domain 9. And that's not all. We also plan to further strengthen our partnership with Hykros, contributing to our joint understanding of Omnium technology. With our combined efforts, we might just find a better way to ensure the safe and smooth operation of the Tower of Fantasy.
Alright, I'm looking forward to the technology from Domain 9. Before officially modifying the Infinite Sundial, I need to prepare the Omnium reactor first. It's crucial as it will allow the Infinite Sundial to process and channel the energy from Mara. It's about time I reported our progress to my teacher. I need to head back to Hykros first.
I will arrange for a domain guard to accompany Miss Brevy back to the Celestial Gate. especially considering the frequent disruptions from the darkness. Travel safety is a necessity.
Thank you. I appreciate your thoughtfulness.
Master Yu, abyss currents have manifested across Joltville. The darkness is ceaselessly flooding into Domain 9. The situation near Tien Pavilion is particularly dire, and Lord Fu Li has requested Madame Huang to take immediate action.
Clearly, the darkness is exploiting the abnormal fluctuations caused by the survey earlier. They just never quit! I'll go deal with it now, Master Yu.
Tien Pavilion is fundamentally important. If the darkness's activities jeopardize its facilities, it could affect the entire timestamp system. Would it be possible for the Executor and Miss Shirley to join Mimi?
Leave it to us.
Mass of thunderclouds. It seems that a strong storm is brewing. What on earth is that place?
Dragon Pool. Just as I thought. They really never give up, do they? The weather in Dragon Pool, particularly the thunderstorms, is influenced by the activity of the darkness. Judging by the looks of it, things are quite chaotic there now. We've had a small thunderstorm before, and the outflow of darkness energy devastated the entire Joltville. And this time...
Then we must stop the darkness, now.
This way! Come with me!
Madame Huang, we've successfully eliminated all the darkness that fled once Dragon Pool was activated. But at the moment, we're unsure of the exact situation within Dragon Pool.
Got it. You did well. Continue keeping an eye on the surroundings. We will take over Dragon Pool from here.
Yes, ma'am.
With the darkness escaping from Dragon Pool, abrupt abyss currents popping up everywhere, and the intense thunderstorm, what could have possibly happened in Dragon Pool? I must report the situation to Master Yu. What's going on? The comms failed at a time like this?
Does the darkness possess such an ability?
Nobody's got time for that. We'll have to look into it later. Fu Li!
Yes, madam. I'll head to Zhengong right away to inform Master Yu about the abnormality at Dragon Pool. I'll be back as soon as possible.
Dragon Pool is in a tight spot. We need to work fast and find out what's happening. This means we have no choice but to go deep inside to see for ourselves. Would you two?
Time is running out. We need to go, now.
Let's go.
There's no end to the darkness.
These traps. They show no signs of damage.
Could someone have deliberately set them off?
Jamming our communications, purposely setting off the traps. Just as I thought, they're up to no good.
Enough with the darn it. The seal has been broken.
I sense strong gray-space entity energy up ahead. Be careful.
This is a big one. The chaos ends now. Time to teach this beast a lesson for disrupting the peaceful lives of the people in Joltville.
We're facing an increasingly tough situation. This incident is not as simple as it seems. When the high-ranking darkness broke free from the Black Jade ruins, there were large-scale invasions of the darkness all over Domain 9.
To my knowledge, both Marshville and Aquaville are still fighting against waves of the darkness. Madame Ling Han and Lord Ming Jing are on the front lines as we speak. Compared to the other regions, Ignisville suffered slightly less damage. This could be due to the fact that the Black Jade ruins in Ignisville had been reinforced before, which helped in keeping the darkness from kicking up too much of a storm.
Yes, I've already made arrangements to send aid to Marshville and Aquaville. A darkness invasion of this scale has never happened before. The darkness is attacking on multiple fronts, spreading our forces thin. This leaves us underpowered and constantly on the defensive. Consequently, the darkness within Dragonpool has faced much less resistance when breaking through the ruin. Without the help of you and Miss Shirley, I shudder to think what could have happened today.
That's just part of the job of the domain guards, isn't it?
Regardless, you have my thanks. Besides the abnormal activity in the darkness, there's one thing that really bothers me. Why Joltville, of all places?
Compared to other Black Jade ruins, the seal in Joltville's ruin is considerably stronger. If they wanted to break out easily, they should have gone for the ruins with weaker seals.
Could it be they prioritized releasing the most powerful darkness entity?
That's weird. It doesn't make any sense.
Is that so?
I'm sure you and Miss Shirley also noticed. He wasn't going all out during our fight. Or perhaps its abilities were being restricted by something. But then how did it manage to break out of the ruin?
There's a whole lot that doesn't add up. Jungong will follow up on this, using the lead you provided. Today, in order to assist the domain guards in dealing with the darkness invasion, we had to overload the timestamp system, causing the infinite sundial to operate beyond its capacity. This has left the field energy reserves across the domain extremely vulnerable, reaching a critical tipping point. If we can't find a way to power it up again soon, our fears about the infinite sundial failing might soon become a reality. Fortunately, Miss Brevy from Hypros has brought us some good news. After the completion of the Infinite Sundial revamp project, we will be able to roll out the long-postponed third-generation timestamp system, allowing us to harness a large amount of Omnium energy to take on the darkness.
From defense to offense, perhaps it's about time we strike back.
Today was also the first time we took down a high-ranking darkness that was held captive within a Black Jade ruin. Whatever the rest of the darkness is up to, Jungong is on it. You've all done a remarkable job today. Please, go get some rest.